Good morning. One of the things I want to show today is that park and bring the hand back into the center. So what happened was some people were doing park and going way across. So when you do that park, this movement is just to teach you to bring your forearm in the middle. It shouldn't be 1, 2, 3. It should be 1, 2. So if you look here, I touch the arm and slide forward. See, I touch, slide forward. There is no release. There is no release from it. I touch, slide. So a way to practice this is have a person throw a punch at you. You touch their arm, and then when they pull back, you follow it in. And they do it slow. And then they get faster, and you follow it in. And then they get faster, and then they get faster, and then they get faster. So it's touch, push in. Notice I didn't let the arm fall down because I maintained contact. I covered that line. If I'm in a front stance, it's the same thing. I park, strike. See? Park, strike. Park, strike. Not park like that. It's not park, release, and strike. I have to cover that line. Park, strike. And if you have a flexible arm, I push it to the side and slide in. Because I want to push the punch from my face and then slide in. I'm not going to stand here so it hits me. I'm going to show you something. If I do this, it's just going to pop back and hit me. So I park, slide. So this part of the form should be 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3. The only reason we do that extra movement is to teach students to cover the line. To cover the line. So it's park, strike straight out. So in the Salem towel form, it's 1, 2. So 1 and then slide up the line. If I'm in a front stance, the line of attack is here now. So I park straight forward. So have a partner throw their hand out, hold her for a second. So you park. When they pull back, step in. They punch. You touch their arm. When they step back, you go in. Then you do this faster. Then it's 1, 2. Then as he pulls back faster, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Till it's like, and then you want to bring this hand to cover, of course. So he throws the jab, I follow it back. So I touch his arm, follow him back. So hypothetically, I'm the boxer or street fighter. As soon as I pull this hand back, your palm should be in my face. It should be pop, I'm hit. I'm hit right there. So that's what this is. It's for making contact with somebody's limb, and when they pull back, you strike. So it can't be 1, 2, 3. It's got to be 1, 2. Slide up the line. So another thing I've seen in the bong sao, and that could be my fault. On some of my videos, I would go real low and raise up to teach students to raise. Don't go way down here and do it. Start the bong sao from right here and go up. From right here, right from the tan, imagine you make contact with the limb and then raise up. See? So it's here. It's not here. And that's my fault because I used to overemphasize lifting the arm by doing this. So it starts here. Don't go on top. Another thing I've noticed is people's fingers. They're pointing out that way. They should point to the sky. So if you're doing advanced Salem towel and you circle around and strike, you don't want to hit with your fingers, you have to hit with this. So if I'm doing advanced Salem towel, I do the tan, circle around, strike. Notice how my fingers aren't touching? Some of you do the Wu Sao like this. That means you'd hit with your fingers. See? It's not this. Pull this back. Pull it back so it stretches the muscle here to protect the ulnar bone. You can try that yourself. You can touch your ulnar bone with your fingers this way, and when you pull it back, you'll feel the muscle spread and become taut like a trampoline, so you protect the bone. So this, your Wu Sao should be like this, pulling the fingers back like I'm trying to touch my head, which is physically impossible. See? That's your Wu Sao, not like that. So, with the punch, you bring the fist in the center, you drive the punch along the center. When you first learn, you leave your wrist in the center. So for beginners, they would just do this. But once you understand, you leave the center and go around. But you don't want to do this and go around big and leave this open. You want to keep your forearm close to the line of attack. It's not going to be able to stay exactly on the line of attack. See? Circle around and punch. So, here's the line of attack. I punch. See, my punch is occupying the line of attack, so the punch will go past me. See? And one of the reasons we do a diagonal punch is because my elbow is more in the center. If I punch with a vertical fist, see where my elbow is? Now watch this. It covers more of the center. So your punch, some people call it a capping punch. Your punch is also a block, a parry. So if there's a person's punch that would be heading towards my face, let's do this. See, I punch and it makes the punch go past me. So when I do the Lao Sao, see, I still want to kind of stay cognizant of covering that line. I don't want to go way out here. And that's the same thing in the Wu, in the Lao Sao from the Wu. When you do the Lao Sao here, it's the same thing. I don't want to flail my elbow out and expose this part of my body. See, I try to keep my elbow down. In the Tan, I keep my elbow down. Notice that? When I punch, I try to keep my elbow down. See? So I offer myself some protection. I don't want to punch and flail the elbow out and open up my rib cage. So I uploaded a video that I did a while back, and I noticed that I was doing that arc. So if you're doing this one, drop, lock. Hong Sao in the center. Now where my elbow is, that's where my hand goes up. So I dissect my body into two equal parts, so I can cover each side equally. If I'm here, I open up a line. If I'm here, I open up a line. So I want to dissect my body into two equal parts. So when I do this bong, I drop my elbow here and slide up. Bong. See what happens to the arm? If I do this, I'm going to get hit, see? Okay, let's see, keep it loose. See, this, I'd get hit, see? But if I do this, it goes past me. So as soon as I do the bong, I drop my elbow, and look where it places the arm. So if I'm here, I drop my elbow, the arm goes over my head, and then I lop and punch. Okay? So it's Hong Sao, Shin Sao, Lap Sao. It's not Hong and arc. I hit myself. And nobody can be that accurate in a fight. I mean, you'd have to be really accurate to be able to do that arc over your head like that. Spam call. So, Hong, Chin, Lap. Now, in the first section of the Zhong form, of the Chum-Kyu form, these bongs are in your central line. See, it's out here. My center line would be here, I'd get hit. So for a round punch, I'm going to be in my center line. For a straight punch, I'm going to be over here. Maybe I could do this with both arms. This this might work, okay? Round punch, straight punch. See the difference? Well, they're too far apart. But you get the idea. Maybe the shorter arm might be better. Okay. Round punch, straight punch. Notice I haven't turned my center. Look at it from this side. Round punch, straight punch. Okay, straight punch, and then round punch would be here. So when you do the form, you're doing this so you can kick. Now you don't have to kick, but say you want it to kick. So a straight punch comes, my center is facing away, I bong sao, pak, kick. Bong sao, pak, kick. I can also bong jut. But see how the arm went down a little bit? So if you do the jut, you have to be really careful that you don't bring the hand down so the guy can block you. Right? I don't want to bring his leg down so he can block me. So if you do the jut, you have to make sure it goes to the side, and then you do the kick. So Grandmaster likes to do this one. See? See the finger jab? So he does one jut and then comes back. And then he can do something else or whatever. I'm not as fast as him, so I prefer this. At least I knock the hand away so I can kick. Okay? So from this side, bong, pak, kick. Now you don't have to do the kick. I can just go bong, pak, and do something else. So that's what your goal is. Bong, pak, knock the hand away to clear a space for you to kick so the guy can't block your leg. In the form, when you do this, you open the hip up. Make sure, this is really important. If you test with me, you test with any of the seafoods that have learned this from Grandmaster, this will take points off your test if you just do this and don't open the hip up. Because in a combat situation, your hip's going to be open. So here's the line of attack. The punch comes. I open my hip up so I can kick. If I'm in a front stance, I do the same thing. My hip's open. See, it's pointing that way so I can do the kick. So in the form, make sure as soon as you do the pak, one. So you're doing one. Kick, circle, land, arm break, arm break, arm break. 1, 2, 3. Now this one, same thing. Straight up and lop. So I'm here, the line of attack, I go straight up. Same thing, same principle. I dissect my body into 2 equal parts. So after this strike, I cover and then lop. Now that'll be a central line lop. Ideally to the bend of the person's elbow on the inside, to the bend of the elbow. So you can take them off balance. So this can be used against a round punch. I lop. And the reason I do this, as opposed to just lopping, his hand might not be there. That punch could be a fake. So I cover first, then lop. See? So the punch comes, I lop like that. So in the form, you go chin, lop. So lop. That would be the fighting application. That's to the inside of the arm. I can do it for a straight punch from the opposite arm. So I'm in a left front stance. The person throws a left punch. I can go chin, lop to the outside of his arm. Right? I can also go to the inside of his arm if he's leading with the right, punches with the right hand. I can lop to the inside of his arm this way, or I can lop to the inside of his arm that way. Let me leave this hand out of the way. I can lop this way to the inside of his arm. I can lop this way to the inside of his arm. So this one, I can do two things. He can throw a straight punch with his rear arm. So now I'm on the outside of his arm. I kick to the pressure points here. Heart meridian 1, heart 1. I think it's called the axilla in Western medicine. It's a nerve bundle here. So this one can work from the open side with a round punch to the closed side with a straight punch. Lap. Chun lap. Chun lap. So we got that one. Just so you get the basics. When you do the bong saws, it's not both hands at the same time. It's yin, yang. So it's like, that's the rhythm. So this is a strike. You train this in advanced Silon Tao when you do that palm strike. You do the tan, release, palm strike. Tan, release, palm strike. So when I block the person's arm, I strike the inside of their arm. I hit it. Now this is kind of hard to do one hand soft and one hand hard. And a good way to test that is hit a surface soft with one hand, hard with the other. These are real exercises. Hit something, don't have the same intensity. One hand soft, one hand hard. So this hand rolls up, this one strikes. Most people do this. You see that jerk? This shouldn't be that way. This should be lift and roll. Lift and roll, very soft. Lift and roll, lift and roll. So it should be, this one's hard, this one's soft. So roll, hit. So you have to do them separately. So the way to practice this would be bong, roll, soft, then hit. Put a little gap between it. And then later on, you shorten that gap. Otherwise, you give both your arms. Say a punch comes, I give both my arms. And the person does some kind of hung fat or charlie fat or some long fist technique. And I do this, and I just got both of my arms because I gave you both my arms. I want to do this. Test the waters with this one and then complete it. So I give you 1, 2, and I'll give you both my arms. That's why you don't go here. It's not this. It's, and this is a fraction of a second behind.